All right, here's the question. If you bought a lemon from Tesla, would you ever buy another Tesla? Welcome to the Code Repair, whether you're a long-time viewer or a newer subscriber. I appreciate every single one of you. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Now, my Cybertruck journey is a wild one. Of course, I ordered it in 2019. I received it. I no longer have it. It was a lemon. Tesla did not hesitate when it came to repurchasing it because they knew they can see all of the problems with it. And I'm going to tell you what the process was like, how long everything took, whether it's a Cybertruck or if you're having problems with another Tesla and Tesla decides that they will repurchase it and make it right, you have an idea what to expect. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I went to see the Cybertruck at the Peterson Museum in 2020, and it is still one of my most viewed videos. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it when I first saw it at the unveiling. I was like, yeah, stainless steel, Cybertruck, Tesla, I want it, right? So I ordered it. And like everyone else, it took 4.5 years. So I ordered it in November 2019, and finally here in 2024, I got the email to configure it, and I was able to go pick it up in Sunnyvale, California on March 21st, 6 hours away from me. I could have waited for it to be delivered to my local service center, but I couldn't wait, right? I wanted it, and maybe I should have waited because the one I got, full of problems, full of problems. They always say, be careful what you wish for, right? I couldn't wait, so I got it, and man, it was not a good one. So when I got there and I inspected it, I looked at it, the frunk was sunken in just a hair, but you know, you pay $100K for a vehicle, Foundation Series, and you're like, no, I can't have that, right? But I did not want to wait for them to fix it. So if you put in a service request within the first 500 miles of getting your vehicle, then they'll take care of it, no problem. And I did that before I even drove off. So as I'm driving back, because you know, I need to head back home, 6 hours, I had work the next day. As I'm driving home, I noticed in the windshield, there's a little line. It's not a crack, it's a line. And the line is like, you know, it's messing with my vision, making me a little dizzy. And I'm like, no, I can't. It's right in my line of sight. I said, no, I can't have that, right? So I put in another service request. And I'm like, okay, they'll fix those two things, no big deal. And while I'm driving, you know, a 6-hour drive, my phone is in the wireless charger, and it got so hot that the phone overheated, and it said it needed to cool down before I can use it. And it's a newer iPhone, but it just overheated and slowly charged it. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So when I got to a supercharger, I'm sitting there filling up. I pulled out my phone charger from home because I was traveling, and I plugged it into the Cybertruck's outlet to see how that worked. And it worked well, and it charged it. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but let me see what's up with this wireless charger. So I go into the forums, and I see plenty of other people had the same problem. I'm like, okay, no, this is not good. And I thought about, I need an alternative. So I had the perfect wireless charger for my Model 3 and my Model Y, and my brother uses it, my sister-in-law uses it, and I was just hoping that they would make one for the Cybertruck. And I'm talking about MagbaK. Sure enough, MagbaK came to the rescue. They have this Cybertruck-inspired wireless charger. The best thing about it is the way it looks. It looks like it's OEM, like it was meant to be there. It's a part of the vehicle. It's easy to install. It has a little Cybertruck logo on it. You remove the adhesive, you stick it to the back right here. You hold it for a few seconds. Then you take the wire, you hide the wire, and wabam. There it is, right? Beautiful setup. It fast charges your phone. You can have it in a vertical or horizontal orientation. This is perfect for FaceTime, for maps and Waze, whatever you need it for. But I just like having my phone here, and again, it does not overheat. I'm like, this is a no-brainer. I always use this in my Cybertruck. So once I got it, it stayed on there since day one. And I highly recommend anybody out there get one for, and actually any of your Teslas. I would like to thank MagbaK for sponsoring this video, but it's an easy one because I actually love this product. Link is in the description. So that was March 21st. April 9th was my first service appointment, and I went in and they took care of the window and they took care of the frunk. Now they just need to adjust the frunk, and the window, actually I had to go back a week later because they didn't have the adhesive, but whatever, it's all good. They fixed it, right? No big deal. So that's the first one. Then it went in April 22nd for there was loud creaking under the center console. They fixed it. And then I had a problem with the tailgate. It wouldn't open. Even the emergency latches weren't working. And every once in a while, I would get it to work. So I put that in and they fixed it temporarily. After they went in and fixed it, the next day the tailgate was just randomly dropping now, which is even more dangerous, right? So it went back in on April 29th. And they finally fixed it. I don't know what they did. I don't know if they replaced it all. I know it says it in the notes, but who knows what they did. That's the next one. July 3rd, my screen was unresponsive. I had to get it towed to Tesla. They fixed it. July 10th, my screen was unresponsive again. This time I took it to a different service center, and they said, hey, the problem is this third-party USB. I said, well, how come they didn't tell me that last time? And they left it in there, right? So supposedly that was an issue. I've never heard that before. But they fixed it. Then September 7th, I had a creaking door. Fixed it. I had a safety restraint error warning. Not fixed. The tonneau needs to be pressed multiple times to be closed. Was not fixed. They said they didn't see any problem with it. Funny, it still does it on the day that I turned it in. When I actually turned it in, the guy was trying to close the tailgate because he had to inspect the truck. And he was like, oh, is it always like this? I said, yeah, it's in the notes. So the safety restraint warning, they couldn't fix it. They said, we need to reschedule you so you can come back in. And it just kept popping up. It kept popping up. I'm like, if it's a safety thing, right, you should probably take care of it. But they said they will eventually. So after that, I kind of felt like, man, you couldn't even fix these issues. And I remember talking to Sherwin. If you're not familiar with Sherwin, you need to click that link below and watch his channel, subscribe to him. He has great content, but also he went through the buyback process on his Model X. He had 11 as well. So I watched all his videos and he goes into great depth. So definitely check him out. But I talked to him. I was like, hey man, what's the deal, right? And he shared his process with me and I kind of used that as my guide. So I called Tesla Service Center and requested a buyback, right? While the truck is still in the shop. I requested a buyback and they're like, okay, but they rarely get repurchased, right? Good luck to you, but we hardly see it happen. Matter of fact, your truck is ready to come get it. And I'm like, okay, but again, they didn't fix anything. So I don't know if because I put in that request, they were like, come pick up the truck. So that was on September 10th, and they said, if you want to do it, you have to submit an official email requesting it. I did that. I made it short. I made it sweet. The following day, I got an email saying, hey, we got your email. You'll hear back within 30 days. 9/17, about 6 days later, I sent a check-in email. I'm like, hey, you guys got my information? I haven't heard anything. He said yes, within 30 days, no big deal. So on 9/20, 10 days after my request, I got an offer email. It says Tesla has reviewed your request and will offer to repurchase your vehicle. I need to provide my loan payment history, 10-day payoff quote, my account number, a copy of my current registration, and then they will give me a calculation of how much they're going to actually buy back. They said generally the repurchase will refund the amounts of money paid into the vehicle less than applicable deductions, and Tesla will pay off any outstanding loan. All right, so I'm like, okay, cool. So I sent in all the paperwork and I got a confirmation on October 2nd. They said, hey, we received all your paperwork. I'm like, okay, good. 6 days later, October 8th, I got the actual figure from Tesla. So the total buyback is $115,252. That's after they subtracted $1,328 for mileage used. 1,500 miles since I took it in for the first service. So not all, 10,000 miles when I actually turned it in, I think something like that. But for the mileage used when I first took it into the service center. So I'm getting my deposit refunded, which was $1,100. I'm getting my down payment refunded, which was $10,600. I'm getting all my payments refunded, and the total refund to me was $16,815. So I accepted it. I said, yeah, let's do it, right? So then time has passed. I'm like, what's going on? I got to make another payment. I'm going to have to give you another 10-day payoff. I had to give them another 10-day payoff. And then finally, they're like, okay. I got a phone call. And I was at work, and I'm like, okay, what's the deal? And I looked at my phone, and it tells you like the details of the voicemail. It's like, hey, this is Tesla. I said, oh, I better answer. I answered. It was like, hey, when can you drop off the vehicle and sign some papers? I said, I can do it ASAP, right? They said, okay, can you bring it in tomorrow or the following day? I said, I'm going out of town, right? I got to bring it in tomorrow, or else, I'm going to have to owe another payment. He was like, okay, bring it in. I tried to remove everything I could from the truck in anticipation of this, but I forgot my mud flaps. But anyway, those were what, $100, $80, $85, something like that. So, chalk it up as an L. I turned it in on November 7th, which was 59 days from my original request. And that's how long it took. So essentially 2 months with the whole buyback process. Like I said, they didn't hesitate once I put in that request. It didn't take 30 days. They realized, hey, you had a lot of problems with this truck. This has nothing to do with me being an influencer. Nobody knows me. Nobody's heard of me. It's just that I think they know. They've had a lot of issues, and they want to take care of it. I didn't even include the recalls. You guys are all familiar with the recalls, like the accelerated pedal, the cell applique, and all the other things they got going on. So, of course, I had those worked on too, but I don't know, man. That's a lot of issues, and I'm still thinking, like, what should I do, with my next vehicle? I've tested a lot of other vehicles in the meantime, but thanks for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments. What truck would you get, or vehicle would you get? Would you trust Tesla again? That's the real question. And, we'll go from there. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget, Cobra told you. All right, y'all.